is that we can consider when it comes to leadership? Well, to start off, leaders attract other leaders. Leaders attract other leaders. That's an opportunity. When you're a leader, you can attract other leaders to be part of your team rather than followers. You want others who are connected to you on your team to also be leaders. So the focus should be on how can I develop my team members to also be leaders. Therefore, all the assignments, all the projects, all the things that need to be done is not just on you, because that would lead to burnout. But when you have other leaders, they're contributing, you're working in tandem, it makes it more of a flow of teamwork. So it's not just one person saying, oh, do this, you do this, you do this, but it's together. That synergy is there, and you're all working together. And so you attract other leaders. There's a famous quote, birds of the same feather flock together. You probably have heard that before. And so you want to attract people who think like you do, who are in alignment with you, so that also you reduce the got a little bit distracted. You avoid conflict when all of you are on the same page. So here's some things to consider. Just looking over to my notes. Leaders attract leaders who think like you do, who express feelings like other leaders. Leaders create an environment that attracts. So your environment will also create a place for other leaders, which means that when your team is working together and you have attracted them and they are leaders themselves, it will eliminate turnover. That could be a big issue. But when you attract people just like you, who think similar to you, but you don't want them to think exactly like you, there has to be some balance, then you're able to form a team that works well together, and all the decision making is not on you. You can delegate as the leader because you have other leaders that you're working with. And one thing to bear in mind is that you don't want a situation where the personality of those that you may have to work with, maybe not exactly in your team, but sometimes you interact with some people and there's some friction here and there. There's some friction. I've had some of those situations where there was some friction. But when you look beyond their personality, you can see that they are making some sense in what they're saying. So if you're all on purpose, if you're all working together, even though you may clash due to personality, but if the person that you're clashing with for whatever reason may not be directly on your team, but maybe from another team, if you are able to see that they bring value, then you can still be open. Remember, opportunities in leadership, you can be open to hear what they have to say rather than just have I don't like this person, I don't want to hear what they have to say, and that's it. Rather, you can be open, look for the opportunities for what they may have to say and contribute. There might be some value there. So this is about learning to not allow personalities which may clash with yours to overshadow the purpose for which you're working on. So that's something to keep in mind. What other opportunities are there? What other opportunities are you facing where you're working or with your business? I speak to a lot of entrepreneurs, and sometimes we miss the opportunities. So this is a time to open up and think about, what are the opportunities that are open to me, that are there for me to step into, that I can walk into. So the first thing I talked about today, do you remember what I talked about? I talked about attracting potential leaders to your team, so you're not having to make all the decisions by yourself. This is where it becomes more efficient for you to delegate, because you have leaders on your team. And not just leaders, you're also helping to develop them as leaders. And also for those that you may work with, maybe they're not directly on your team, but there's some clashing going on. Look beyond the personality. Look beyond the clashes, the conflict, but look at what value does this person bring. And over time, hopefully, those conflicts can be resolved. What are your thoughts about that? Some suggestions? Thanks for those who joined. And yeah, that's all I have for today. So thank you for joining Opportunities in Leadership. Let's go out and be the best leader that we can be.